got it tacked up. And if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge.
It's a drag here today on Lucas Oil on the Edge. Of course, I meant that we're going drag racing. For the first time ever on OTE, we have the famous World Fuel Altered event. 8 professional drivers are mixing it up, and they're all looking for the trophy at the end of the night. Tonight on Speed.
Oh yeah, we're going to turn up the wick here today. How about fuel altered? There's nothing any crazier in the sport of drag racing than these things. Ken Stout and Brian Olson, welcome to the World Fuel Altered Nationals, presented by General Tire. And if it's horsepower that you love, well, that's kind of how it got started right there. Just make a body as small as possible, nothing but engine, line it up next to your buddy, and then find out who is the quickest. That's what it's all about. And to help us out with more on the event we're going to see here today, let's get it down to Tony Bachhoven.
Well, guys, if you've ever wondered what a fuel altered dragster is, Sean Belt, the driver of this Nitro Madness dragster, is going to tell us. And Sean, what are these crazy things?
Man, all I can tell you, Tony, is it's kind of like a bottle rocket with no stick.
And why is that?
Well, if you've ever turned one loose like that, you just never know where they're going to go or what they're going to do. They're really unpredictable.
So tell us about the car specifically, though, for somebody that's never seen one. What makes up a fuel altered car?
Underneath, chassis-wise, this is a nitro-legal top fuel funny car. But what we've done is taken the body off and lost all that downforce that helps us stick to the track. So we've put this little roadster body on it, and we end up with some really crazy aerodynamics that just make these cars so unpredictable. The NHRA's actually kind of outlawed these years ago for professional classes. So we come here and people just flock to see them run because you just never know what's going to happen.
Well, guys, I think for sure I'm going to let him stick to driving race cars. I'll probably stick to bottle rockets.
All right, fuel altered round 1 action from General Tire as they light up those huge back tires. And as you well know, Brian, I mean, we've seen these things for a number of years, and this is what the fans come out to see. They want to see those unpredictable cars and the pilots that want to climb behind the wheel to see if they can control them.
Eddyville, Iowa, one of the most popular places in the country. They put this thing together. It's kind of a touring little series that they have. But here at the World Fuel Altered Nationals, this is the big dog. This is the kind of the world finals, if you will. In fact, that's what they're called, the World Fuel Altered Nationals. And it brings together the best of the best. From the Midwest, from cross and east of the Mississippi, from both sides of it, they'll gather up here in Iowa and have a great time. And there is a gaggle of cars to try to qualify for this quick 8 shootout.
Rick Wilson and Thompson will line up alongside him. Brings it up to 3,000 RPM and dumps it. Shoots that thing out. Keep in mind, they're going 8th mile here, and Harold Thompson Jr. will pick up the win with a 4:07 pass. Solid effort right there, 175 miles per hour.
That's a brand new Mike Spitzer chassis machine. The guy you saw behind the starting line, that was Harold Sr., and they've been running supercharged cars for a long, long time. They have found their place, though, here in the fuel altered category here now.
Of course, you mentioned Spitzer, and Spitzer, a huge supporter of IHRA back in the day out of the Indianapolis area. Does an awesome job as we move on to our next pair here. Slowly creep forward, turn on that pre-stage bulb, and then, of course, the stage bulb, the Mighty Mouse on the other side, at the time indicating a small block Chevy.
Anthony Whitfield over there in the Mighty Mouse machine. Oh, baby! It's real close to the retaining wall, runs 441, and I don't think he scraped that wall. If he would have been disqualified automatically there. Watch the car nearest the camera here. Nick Paulison, and that machine looked like he was real close. I don't think he ever made the touch, though.
I'm not sure he didn't hit with that left rear. The front end was in the air. Oh, right there. I mean, I'm really not sure that he didn't clip that wall. And back in the day, you could actually scrub the outer wall as long as you didn't cross the center line. So maybe he is legal. Nonetheless, when we come back, he's still in the hunt.
This Lucas Oil On the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Ready Liftoff Road Suspension. A new revolution in off-road suspension design and development.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil On the Edge and the World Fuel Altered Nationals. And there's also a car show going on out here as you take a look at that A-gasser, a beautiful piece of equipment, along with all the cars that are out here. It's definitely a step back in time.
When you come to Oskaloosa, Iowa, baby, you better bring your best stuff. Whether you're attending the car show or you're running AA fuel altered, as we get set to watch the Nitro Madness machine, a Sean Belt come up. He'll match up here with Aaron Lyda.
Just great looking hot rods. I mean, they just look bad to the bone. And it's definitely a step back. And it's cool that they have, of course, the current day chassis that you would typically see that funny car body on. So they're safe, but yet they still look like a blast from the past.
Definitely got the nostalgic look. In the old days, Wild Willie boys used to pack the house. We got a packed house here at Eddyville. Good drag race.
Yeah, both cars right down through there. That's what you're looking for. And a 413 with an 036 light for Sean Belt's going to take the win here. That was a great side-by-side battle, though, to a 419.
Identical reaction times at 036 and a 13 beats at 19. I'd say by the time you get to the stripe, 600 is going to be about one car length, and that's exactly what it is on the 1/8 of a mile. Oh, great onboard shot. Love it.
Oh, yeah, nothing sounds better than that, man. At full song, doing a burnout, warming up the tires. Let's get it back over to Tony.
Well, Sean Belt goes on to the next round. Sean, 413, 169, but more importantly, wasn't your best run of the weekend, but you took out the defending champion.
Man, sometimes it's ugly, but you just got to get it done. And I had my hands full, but I wasn't about to pedal. I didn't see him, and I wasn't going to give it away.
About half track, it looked like the car was starting to get away from you a little bit.
It kind of had a mind of its own out there, and I was trying to coax it back to where I wanted it.
Yeah, just a meeting in the middle. Just give me back a little bit so I can stay in the throttle as you take a look at John Dunn, and Dunn will line up alongside Broussard.
And John Dunn, who runs the Dunn and Gone team machine, he's got two different funny car bodies. He's got this fuel altered body machine. It's all the same chassis, as you mentioned earlier, so he runs more than one series. Broussard, Dunn and Gone. You remember a few years ago, he was at Joliet, Illinois, and he took his Vega funny car and turned it into a convertible in the lights.
I'll tell you right there, he was well off the pace. Reaction time, you can take a look at the numbers. John, on the other hand, 0.25 reaction time and gets it done. That's what you want.
398, the first 3-second run of eliminations, and Broussard was quick time for round number 1.
Boy, I'll tell you, Dunn was right there at a 4th lap. That reaction time cost him the race.
Well, John Broussard came to Eddyville this weekend, set number 1 qualifier with a 403. Then, John, you went out in the first round, ran a 398. Nice run.
Thank you. The car went down pretty straight, first round of eliminations. Yesterday, the 2 qualifying passes, we had it soft up on the tune-up, and we needed to step it up for first round eliminations. We hit a 398. We'll be hitting some more 390s here in the next couple of rounds.
Guys, keep your eye on him, because I believe if they keep the tune-up the way it's going, we're going to see some faster 390 runs out of this guy.
We love to hear from our fans. Go to www.facebook.com and become a fan of Lucas Oil on the Edge. Join our OTE private group or like our page. Then post your comments about this Lucas Oil on the Edge episode.
It's about time for the semifinal runs here at the World Fuel Altered event on Lucas Oil on the Edge. The man to beat today is John Broussard. He was the only driver to break into the 3-second zone in round 1. Does he have a place in the final? Let's watch and see.
Time for the fuel altered semifinals from General Tire, and the burnouts begin once again. All right, 4 cars left. A little tank slapper right there at the end of the burnout, not uncommon for these cars. We'll take a look at who's pairing up. As you can see, it'll be Thompson and Belts going against each other, then Broussard and Polison.
Some good matchups, of course, as we started out with 8. And you know, I got to tell you, there are some great cars that unfortunately did not even qualify for this show. Thompson and the team out of Michigan, Sean Belt, who took out the defending champion in the category, is alongside. This should be a dandy here.
Thompson in round 1 put a 407 up on the board. Belt, a 413. Reaction times, both of them fairly close. Wheel stand, it looks like parked breakage right off the starting line, and that's going to hand the win over to the other side. Harold Thompson with an 082 light goes 521, and he's broken as well.
They both break right off the starting line. Sean has issues. And right about there, I'm going to say about 300 foot. Well, watch it here. Oh, not even that far. Maybe 150, 160 feet. The blower belt breaks for Thompson Jr., but he had enough advantage there to coast to the win line.
That'll send us to our next pair. And again, Broussard coming out here running a 398 earlier at over 180 miles per hour. So a solid effort there. And Pauluson's going to have to pick up the pace because he put a 441 up on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. That Broussard machine is pretty much the car to beat overall. And not only qualified number 1, but got that thing in the 3s in round number 1.
They turn the onboard computer on. Of course, they'll collect as much data as absolutely possible.
Fendered Allard T Roadster. The white fuel all.
On a huge wheel stand on the other side, Pauluson gets in trouble early on. 398 for 182. That is an amazing run out of Broussard, a little bit quicker yet than we saw in the previous round and faster.
That is what it's like to run in the low 4-second zone with a blown, injected alcohol and nitro burning fuel Allard.
Well, Paulson, a 427 on the board, but off the pace mile per hour, 159 as he's out of the throttle there. Better off to save it and play the game another day.
Well, guys, here's an update on Harold Thompson Jr. Here's the broken blower belt we saw down in the semifinal at the top end of the racetrack. They've got the new belt on. Crew members from other race teams bringing parts over, bringing some help. Harold not only drives the race car, he works on it, but it looks like they've got the new belt on. He should be able to make it back out for the final round.
And Brian, as you well know, I mean, those belts are $300 to $500 a piece, but typically if a blower belt breaks, it's because something else in the engine has failed, locked up, and causes it to break. So if it was simply a blower belt, that's actually an inexpensive and easy fix as we watch Broussard come out here with the purple haze in the final round.
Alongside, you saw that thing on the left-hand side or nearest the camera here for Thompson Jr. And each time he did the burnout, you see those front wheels just go carrying on like that. You got to let your hands off the wheel, just pull on the brake, get the thing slowed down. Those wheels will make their way back. What you're looking at here, though, is, if you talked about this, is a blower pulley on top on the supercharger, which is nothing more than the air maker. On the bottom is a crankshaft pulley, in the middle an idler pulley, and that's what adjusts the actual tension of the blower belt, Ken. It's still the weakest link on the motor.
Final round, here we go. And Thompson with the better of the two reaction times. Look at that, a double 08, puts a 404 on the board and takes the number 1 car out. Broussard, who looked like he was the man to beat here all day long, loses it in the final round.
404, 165. It's the first weekend in 2 years, 7 races in 2 years he's run, and you told me this is the first win in this car. Congratulations.
Sure. Thank you. Loving it. She did good, moving all over the place, and it's my girl.
You guys had a little adversity. Threw the blower belt off in the semifinals. You had to work hard. You had help from other teams.
Oh, thank
But
God.
man, you're back.
Yes, sir. And if it wasn't for the other teams, and this is cool, man.
How tough is it really to win this race? Such a tough field of cars this week.
Very tough. These guys do it all the time, and they fly, you know. And I just got, you know.
Hold up that number 1. Hold up that number 1. There you go. You're the winner at the World Fuel Altered Nationals.
Listen up, Lucas Oil on the Edge fans. It's time to prove how much you love OTE by downloading the free Lucas Oil on the Edge app for your iPhone and iPad. You can check out the OTE schedule, see past shows, and meet the cast. In addition, you can browse the OTE apparel. This is an app that has it all and is a must for every Lucas Oil on the Edge fan.
Why show one drag race when we can show you two? More is better here on OTE, and we have some more drag racing in store for you right now. This time we're leaving the pavement behind and putting the dragsters on the sands. Quick 8 sand drag racing starts now.
The course is 300 foot long, but the horsepower is the same. It is very exciting, and when it goes wrong fast. The Quick 8 Sand Drags presented by Lucas Oil here in West Michigan, and there's all sorts of vehicles for all shapes and sizes.
You can bring your own junior dragster type car, you can bring a quad, you can bring anything. But this weekend it's all about the Quick 8 Shootout, and these are going to be for the fastest cars on the property.
Well, what exactly is Quick 8? Well, it's pretty simple. They're the quickest 8 cars at the track that day. That means any car configuration other than an ATV, any motor, any fuel. It's the ultimate run what you brung.
All right, let's pick up the action here right off the bat with round 1, and you'll see some unique looking vehicles, all of them equally impressive as we show you our ladder here for the Quick 8 Sand Drags. Brought to you by Lucas Oil. It will be Mike Bolliard and Ben Dozman.
And you can see right there on the run what you brung scenario, a supercharged machine and no blower through the hood of the Jeep. And the blown machine breaks on the line.
Well, it looked like he went to put that thing on the converter and it immediately broke, so Bolliard, unfortunately, no time. Dozman with a solid effort right out of the gate.
Mark Mosier, Dale Flower alongside here. Jeep's a pair here, both with superchargers on top. Here we go.
A huge rooster tail, those Kevlar paddles on the back, and the win here is going to go to Mark Mosier. The better on both ends, a better reaction time, and also a better ET at 3.504.
Keep in mind, we're only running the 300-foot mark here at the Sand Drags today. A couple of Jeeps get matched up once again side by side. And right there to the 300-foot stripe, big win.
Ben, when you don't know who's going to be in the other lane, what your competitors got, how does that affect you and your setup for the day?
Well, you try to make your equipment run absolutely as fast as possible, and then it kind of boils down to the driving. Full speed, best light you can cut, and get to the finish line first.
And you are looking at Drag Nasty. That is Pops Portinga. He could actually meet his son Ryan in the semifinals if he can pull off a win here. Oh, and a huge wheel stand deep down into the run as that thing yanked up the front end, maximum grip, 339 at 96 miles per hour. Watch it one more time. Talk about exciting.
Man, that is a great run. Look at him right down the middle of the racing surface, which in this case is sand. That's not easy to do, but Jay gets the job done. And if his son, Ryan, can pick up a win here, they'll match up in the semis.
Everybody digging the rooster tails. And how about that? Ryan doing a solid job, identical ET with a 339, a little less mile per hour at a 127 reaction time.
393.3, 393.6. If there is such thing as lane choice, the kid will have it on the old man in the semifinal round.
Father and son face off. Semifinals next.
This Lucas Oil On the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Ready Liftoff Road Suspension. A new revolution in off-road suspension design and development.
All right, it's time to sling some more sand here at the Quick 8 Sand Drags. You're watching Lucas Oil On the Edge. We are down to the final 4 here in our Quick 8 battle, the Quick 8 category. And the first pair will be Ben Dozman and Mark Mosier.
Yeah, Dozman picked up a win in round number 1 over Mark Bolliard. And he was the one that we talked to earlier. So he's got to do all the right things here. He's got the front end off the car for this particular round here in the semis. I'm not so sure whether it's for weight or whether trying to get more air to the motor, whatever, but he pulls a big wheel stand.
Beautiful job out of Dozman, man. He just stomps on the throttle, yanks up the front end, drives down through there, and it was a show to say the least. But Mark Mosier, who you're looking at right here, had the better of the 2 ETs, and he stole the win away.
Yeah, he was second off the starting line. I mean, he was 119, 030 for Ben Dozman. As you watch the replay, Ben hikes the front end up with the Jeep, It looks like he's going to have a win. But right there, the power takes over for Mark, and he will be your winner.
All right, we still have the other side, but first let's check in with Dave.
You're on a 3.50 with a 9 and 95 miles per hour. Pleased with that run?
Very good.
What's it going to take to get the win in the next round, though?
About a 336.
You going to change your tune-up any or just go with what you got now?
We're going to go with what we got and hope we get a little better track the next couple runs.
All right, man, a few words. It's all about business. He is racing. And here we go. The Portingas, father and son, going at it, another wheel stand.
And both lanes side by side, and another 339 to a 337 elapsed time here.
Well, look at the reaction time for that 337, an 023 light. It's a solid effort there. And then out ETs him and goes to the final round. Congrats to Jay Portinga. We'll find out if he has anything here for Mark Mosier.
Well, Mosier ran that 50, said he needed to run a 36. Portinga just put down to 37 when he took out his son in the semifinal round. So it's a pick and drag race right here. Advantage, though, near lane, Jay Portinga. Oh, he goes red!
And Jay just dangling the front end up and down, but it didn't matter. He put the 38 on the board. He had plenty of ET there to beat that 53 on the other side, but he left too early.
State of the art, man. I mean, look at that sand rail right there. That thing is beautiful. State of the art, like I said. But unfortunately, when you red light start, that's immediate disqualification. Mark Mosier's your champion here this weekend.
All right, saw you come across the finish line there, pumping your fist. Got to be excited about the win.
Big win. Big win for me today. What a day.
3:53. Pleased with that time?
Very good. Got us the win, so it's good enough.
What do you think was the key to your victory today?
Cutting a good light and my opponent red lighted.
All right, hope you enjoyed all the great racing action for Tony Bachhoven, David Hamilton, and of course Brian Olson. I'm Ken Stout. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.